This experiment is the determination of inertial torque on the crankshaft of a 7-cylinder radial engine. So here you can see that this is a 7-cylinder radial engine. This type of engine was used in earlier aircraft, and it consists of 7 cylinders which are radially arranged. You can see that here we have cylinder number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. All these 7 cylinders are connected by means of the connecting rods which are connected to a common crankshaft. And there is a master connecting rod and others are articulating connecting rods. Now, there is a proper firing sequence for these cylinders. As you know, for a 4-stroke engine, we have the intake, then compression, then power, and then exhaust. So, in 2 cycles this has to be done. So the power, when the power stroke is coming, it has to be transmitting uniform power throughout the cycle. So for that there has to be a firing order, and you will appreciate why an even number is not taken and odd number of cylinders are taken. So here we have 7 cylinders. So we have the first cylinder firing, then the third, then the fifth, and then the 7th, and then the 2nd, then 4th, and then the 6th. Again it comes to 1. So you can see there is a gap of 2. So this is how it is working. Now, if you have even number of cylinders, say there are 8 cylinders, then what would happen? We will have the firing from 1, then 3, then 5, then 7, and then it should come to 1 again, but that would be not correct, because it has to go to 2. So there is a gap of 3 now. So that you can see that the uniformity cannot be maintained for the even number of cylinders. That is why always we have either 7-cylinder or 9-cylinder and so on. Now, for conducting the experiment, what we have to do is we have to rotate this crankshaft, and for 30 degrees rotation, we have to note down the displacement of the piston. So for each piston, the displacements have to be taken down, and we have to prepare a table of for taking the readings. What we do is we place this crankshaft at 0 position, and we take the readings of displacement on each of the pistons, and then we rotate this by 30 degrees, and again we take these readings for each of the pistons. So in this way we give 30 degrees rotations and take the measurements up to 360 degree rotation. We have the inertial torque as mr into r square into omega square into cos theta plus cos 2 theta by n. Here the r is the crank radius, which is 65 mm, it is given. The mr is the mass of the reciprocating piston, it is 1.2 kg, and L is the connecting rod length, which is 210 mm. So here we can find out N, which is the ratio of length of connecting rod and the crank radius, which is L by R from these, and we have the inertial torque calculated from here. So what we have to do is, we have to take the readings, that is for each piston we take the x displacement in millimeters, then after every 30 degrees we note this down. So now we can plot the displacement of piston versus the crank angle theta for all the 7 pistons. That is one. The second is, we find out the inertial torque for each angle, and then we plot the inertial torque versus the crank angle. So this is what you have to submit after completing.